Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates International Telecommunication Union in New Delhi. Says India is the world's second largest 5G telecom market and is now working on 6G. Ties plunge further between India and Canada as both the countries expel top diplomats over murder accusations. India's President Draupadi Murmu to be conferred honorary doctorate in Algeria. She will inaugurate an India Centre at the Hama Garden at Jardin d'Essai. EAM S. Jaishankar to attend SCO Summit in Islamabad today. Security tightened as leaders start gathering. Netanyahu tells US President Joe Biden that Israel will not hit Iranian nuclear energy sites as West Asia remains on high alert. And big news coming in at this hour, India and the United States inked a mega drone deal which will enhance India's security apparatus and surveillance capabilities. India to buy 31 Predator drones for the armed forces. And as per defense sources, the estimated cost for 31 drones, including the maintenance and other operating costs, to be around 32,000 crores. And this is the big breaking news that we are getting for you at this hour. Both India and the United States inked a mega drone deal. It will enhance India's security apparatus and surveillance capabilities. India to buy 31 Predator drones for the armed forces. And as per defense sources, the estimated cost for 31 drones, including the maintenance and other operating costs, to be around 32,000 crore. All right, and to give us more details on the same, I've been joined by my correspondent Akshay Dongre from Newsroom. Hi, Akshay. Both India and the United States inked a mega drone deal. What is the latest that you are getting for us? India will buy 31 drones. What are the other details associated to it?
Well, this deal has been long in making, Siddharth, because India had offered US to buy these drones that are hail drones. Now, what exactly is hail drone? It is a synonym for high altitude, long endurance drones that can be remotely piloted. Now, for long hours, these drones can stay in the sky. They can operate. Now, there are a lot of operations that these hunter-killer drones can conduct. In fact, that include surveillance, that include mapping of areas, that include security enhancement of certain facilities, that also include surveillance of large areas like the Indian Ocean region, where these drones can act as a force multiplier. Now, the deal has been signed for 31 MQ-9B drones, and now these are also called Reaper drones. They have also been used by the US in several operations. In fact, the Al-Qaeda chief Al-Jawairi was killed by a precision strike that was conducted by these same drones. So India had at least 2 of these drones in the past as well. Given the experience that the Indian Navy had by using these drones, Indian government decided to buy more of these MQ-9B Predator drones. Now, getting into the specifics of how this deal was signed, the Defense Acquisition Committee had given a go-ahead to this deal few days back, and after that, final acceptance to this deal also came from the US Congress. So after that, after all the formalities are completed, the Indian officials and the US officials, in fact at the top ranks, met and signed this particular deal. Now out of these 31 drones, in all likelihood 15 are going to go to the Indian Navy, given the fact that they have large areas for surveillance, and also the operational requirements of Indian Navy as far as these drones are concerned is much more higher than the Indian Air Force or the Indian Army. So most of these will go to the Indian Navy. That will in fact act as force multiplier. That will act as a booster for the capabilities of the Indian Navy as well, be it the anti-submarine warfare or other surveillance of the region. So the deal includes not just the drones that will be procured, but also a facility will be built here in India itself for the maintenance of the drones. Now this deal that has been signed for about 32,000 crore rupees will be including all the maintenance cost, cost of the weaponry, cost of operations, cost of also servicing that is required from time to time for these high-end weapons. So it is a major deal. In fact, India has become one of the few countries that have signed such a mega drone deal with the US, and solely because this is a cutting-edge technology that countries do not share with everyone else. So the deal that was signed now, not only it is going to give India a huge boost in the Indo-Pacific along with the Indian Ocean region when it comes to the surveillance and operational capabilities, but also it is going to act as a force multiplier for both the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy. Now we can see some of the best drone technology in the world that exists right now coming to India, and this is not going to be leased like it was for the previous two drones that India had procured, but this is going to be a proper facility that will be built here, and the drones that will be bought for whatever operations India required, and that can include both defensive operations as well as offensive operations. Back to you, Siddharth.
All right, thanks for your analysis, Akshay. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the International Telecommunication Union World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly in India's national capital, New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister highlighted that India's digital vision worked on 4 pillars: cheaper devices, connectivity reaching all corners, affordable data, and digital first.
Assembly 2024 at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi also launched the 8th edition of the India Mobile Congress 2024, showcasing India's progress in the world of technology. Addressing the gathering, the Indian Prime Minister said that India's mobile and telecom trajectory in the 21st century serves as a remarkable case study for the world.
2014 में भारत में सिर्फ 2 मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट थी, आज 200 से ज्यादा है। पहले हम ज्यादातर फोन बाहर से इंपोर्ट करते थे, आज हम पहले से 6 गुना ज्यादा मोबाइल फोन भारत में बना रहे हैं। हमारी पहचान एक मोबाइल एक्सपोर्टर देश की है, और हम इतने पर ही नहीं रुके हैं। अब हम चिप से लेकर फिनिश प्रोडक्ट तक दुनिया को एक कंप्लीट मेड इन इंडिया फोन देने में जुटे हैं।
World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 is the game changer in more ways than one. It provides a powerful platform for global collaboration besides shaping future standards in next generation technologies like artificial intelligence, big data and cyber security. PM Modi stressed that world should adapt global framework to fight against the cyber threats.
भारत हजारों वर्षों से वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के अमर संदेश को जीता रहा है। हमें G20 का नेतृत्व करने का अवसर मिला, तब भी हमने वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर का ही संदेश दिया। भारत दुनिया को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से बाहर निकालकर कनेक्ट करने में ही जुटा है। प्राचीन सिल्क रूट से लेकर आज के टेक्नोलॉजी रूट तक भारत का हमेशा एक ही मिशन रहा है, दुनिया को कनेक्ट करना और प्रगति के नए रास्ते खोलना।
Earlier, PM visited an exhibition featuring India's leading companies and startups showcasing groundbreaking innovations in AI, 6G, IoT, and more. This landmark global conference, held every 4 years, has drawn over 3,000 industry leaders, policymakers, and technology experts from more than 190 countries. Tapas Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
Addressing the ITU World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly, India's Minister of Communications Jyotiraditya Scindia said that India will lead the world in the adoption of 6G. Scindia further emphasized that India is now prepared to lead the world in the development of 6G technology. He emphasized India's commitment to becoming a global leader in 6G technology.
Today, by mid of next year, we will have rolled out 4G across the length and breadth of India. 100% saturation will be completed. We've had the fastest 5G rollout in India, 450,000 BTSs, 98% of districts covered, 90% of all villages covered, in a span of only 21 months. With our Bharat 6G Alliance, where we hope to contribute at least 10% of patents to 6G standardization, it is our belief and our commitment that India followed the world in 4G. We marched with the world in 5G, but we shall lead the world in 6G.
Addressing the event, the chairman of Reliance Jio, Akash Ambani, said there is an unusual synergy between government and industry to deliver world-class services to satisfy the needs and expectations of 1.45 billion Indians.
Because of your encouragement to the industry and innovation, India has been digitally transformed by perhaps the biggest digital revolution in history. In New India, in Modi ji's India, there's no more business as usual. Rather, there's unusual synergy between government and industry to deliver world-class services to satisfy the needs and expectations of 1.45 billion Indians. As a representative of Young India, I thank you for your incredible connection with the youth and for inspiring us to pursue impossible-looking goals. As we say in Hindi, Modi hai to mumkin hai.
And to give us more details on this, I've been joined by our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya. Tapas, we just heard Akash Ambani saying Modi hai to mumkin hai. If Prime Minister Modi is there, then it's possible. Tell us something about this event and how this event will help, in giving a boost to the telecom sector.
Well, there are 2 points you need to understand. First, he quite rightly said Modi hai to mumkin hai for the simple reason when 10 years back, India was importer of mobile phones, smartphones, and now we are making ourselves, we are making a name for ourselves as being the exporter of that. You take any name, you take any big company, they want to make center of the gravity where all these particular technology innovation are coming out. And again, going back 10 years back, the number of startup was not even 50. Now it has grown up, and in fact we have now huge number of unicorns. Definitely. At the same time. So the numbers are changing now. The whole gamut of communication, gamut of innovation has undergone a massive change. It showcases India as a powerhouse, and that is what signifies this particular IMC, India Mobile Congress 2024, as well as WTSA 2024. These kind of showcases India as the hub when it comes to critical technology. We spoke to some of the startups who even Prime Minister Narendra Modi met during his visit to the exhibition, and they are working on some of those aspects where probably you don't generally see. So it's a huge point that we have been talking about. Again, 1.4 billion people. It's a huge market for the world, so you can't ignore.
Definitely, Tapas, you said that right, and the transformation which we have seen in the past decade is exceptional. Thank you so much for your analysis. India's President Draupadi Murmu is in Algeria on the first leg of her three-nation visit. The President will visit the Sidi Abdallah Science and Technology Pole, which is a hub of universities, where she will also be accorded the honorary doctorate by the university. Inaugurated in May this year, the hub spans 87 hectares and is poised to become a premier center for advanced technological education in Algeria. The hub includes 4 specialized national schools focused on cutting-edge fields. Together, these institutions offer 20,000 educational places, aiming to cultivate a new generation of highly skilled professionals in these critical areas. She will thereafter be visiting the seawater desalination project at Wilaya of Tapas. She will be inaugurating an India Center at the Hama Garden. President Draupadi Murmu will leave for Mauritania on Wednesday. In the final leg, the President will visit Malawi from 17th to 19th of October. The three-nation visit by the President aims to further expand and strengthen India's ties with the countries in Africa. President of India Draupadi Murmu is on a state visit to 3 African countries, Algeria, Mauritania and Malawi, from 13th to 19th of October 2024. This is the first ever visit by an Indian head of state to the 3 African nations. Telling us more about the President's visit so far, DD India's correspondent Amit Mukherjee gets us this report. President Draupadi Murmu, who is on a 3-day visit to Algeria, held a bilateral meeting with the country's President Abdelmajid Tebboune on Monday to take the relationship between the two countries to a higher level. The two leaders discussed ways to strengthen India-Algeria relations further, with a special focus on trade and investment. President Murmu reaffirmed India's continued support of Algeria and commitment to Africa.
भारत और अल्जीरिया का कॉलोनियलिज्म के विरुद्ध संघर्ष का साझा इतिहास रहा है तथा हम अपने लोगों के लिए समृद्धि लाने की आकांक्षा में एकजुट हैं। आज मैंने राष्ट्रपति तेवन के साथ विभिन्न विषयों पर विचार विमर्श किया। मैंने राष्ट्रपति जी को भारत के निरंतर समर्थन का आश्वासन दिया। हम दोनों ने व्यापार और निवेश पर विशेष ध्यान देते हुए अपने संबंधों को और ऊंचे स्तर पर ले जाने का संकल्प लिया।
President Murmu also addressed the Algerian Indian Economic Forum. She said that India can share its accomplishments with Algeria.
India has achieved many accomplishments in areas such as science and technology, IT, fintech, pharma, space, startups, and renewables. We would be happy to share our experiences in these areas with our Algerian partners. President Taiwan and I firmly believe that it is time that we further strengthen this partnership and impart momentum towards a new area of cooperation between our two countries.
Highlighting the ease of doing business in India, President Murmu also invited Algerian companies to invest in India. Earlier, President Murmu laid a wreath at the Maqam-e-Shahid Memorial in Algiers and paid tribute to the soldiers who laid down lives in Algerian War of Independence. She also visited the National Museum of the Mujahid, commemorating Algeria's struggle for liberation.
Algeria and India has been having cordial relationship with cooperations in the field of oil and gas, defense and space technology. Indian companies have also been working in the infrastructure and manufacturing sector. President Murmu's visit is only going to strengthen the bilateral relationship between the two countries. With camera person Sandeep Kumar, Amit Mukherjee in Algiers for DD India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Taiwanese Defense Ministry said on Tuesday that it spotted a record number of 153 Chinese military aircrafts participating in China's war games around the island. North Korea blows part of road of the military demarcation line dividing the two Koreas. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah continue to escalate after a deadly drone attack on October 13 killed 4 Israeli soldiers.
geopolitics and trade deals, economic challenges amid development, hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium, we'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit Pakistan today to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. This would be the first high-level visit from India in years amid continuing strain in ties between the two neighbors. The 23rd meeting of SCO Council of Heads of Government will be held on Wednesday, 16th of October in Islamabad under the chairmanship of Pakistan. The annual meeting focuses on the trade and economic agenda of the organization. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will represent India at the meeting. India remains actively engaged in the SCO format, including various mechanisms and initiatives within the SCO framework. Ahead of the summit, world leaders have started arriving in Islamabad. Chinese Premier Li Chang landed on early Tuesday, becoming the first Chinese premier to visit Pakistan in 11 years. The Pakistan government has announced a 3-day public holiday in Islamabad, with schools and businesses shut and large contingents of police and paramilitary forces deployed. The 23rd meeting of the SCO, which comprises 9 full members, including China, India, Iran and Russia, is scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday. The Taiwanese Defense Ministry said on Tuesday that it spotted a record number of 153 Chinese military aircrafts participating in China's war games around the island one day ago. China described the one-day drill as a warning against separatist acts after a National Day speech last week by Taiwan President Lai Ching-te was denounced by Beijing. China on Monday sanctions Taiwanese businessman Robert Tsao and lawmaker Puma Shen for alleged criminal and pro-Taiwan independence activities. In a statement, the Taiwan Affairs Office said the Black Bear Academy that both men were associated with was seeking to incite separatism that would endanger cross-strait ties. Tensions escalated on the Korean peninsula after North Korea blew up parts of road of the military demarcation line dividing the two Koreas. The northern parts of roads and rail lines connected to the south were blown up. These explosions did not cause any damage on Seoul's side of the border. In response, South Korea's military fired warning shots near the heavily fortified border with the north. This comes at a time when the North has accused its neighbor of sending drones over the country's capital, Pyongyang. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had overseen a meeting on Monday to discuss a response to the enemy's serious provocation that violated the sovereignty of North Korea. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah continue to escalate after a deadly drone attack on October 13 killed 4 Israeli soldiers. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to show no mercy to Hezbollah. This comes as Netanyahu denied allegations that Israeli forces intentionally targeted United Nations peacekeepers in Lebanon.
Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday vowed to hit Hezbollah without mercy, a day after the group's deadliest strike on Israel.
We are continuing to fight. We are paying painful prices, but we have great achievements which we will continue to make. I would like to make it clear, we will continue to strike Hezbollah without mercy everywhere in Lebanon, including Beirut.
Hezbollah's drone attack on Israeli base killed 4 soldiers on Sunday, while several others were wounded in the attack. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later paid a visit to the attack site in south of Haifa. The Israeli Prime Minister has rejected accusations that Israeli troops had deliberately targeted the United Nations interim force in Lebanon and repeated his call for them to temporarily leave the combat zone.
The charge that Israel deliberately attacked UNIFIL personnel is completely false. It's exactly the opposite. Israel repeatedly asked UNIFIL to get out of harm's way. It repeatedly asked them to temporarily leave the combat zone, which is right next to Israel's border with Lebanon. In fact, on the day that Israel began its ground operation next to our border with Lebanon, we asked them specifically, please leave this area so you're not harmed.
UNIFIL has refused to relocate from southern Lebanon.
As you know, the decision was made that UNIFIL would currently stay in all its position in spite of the calls that were made by the Israeli Defense Forces to vacate the position that are in the vicinity of the Blue Line. I want to emphasize that this decision still remains. It was confirmed this morning by the Secretary General.
The UN Security Council, for the first time on Monday, expressed strong concerns over peacekeepers being wounded.
Against the backdrop of ongoing hostility.
All right, let's take you across to Algeria now, where India's President Draupadi Murmu is addressing. And as we all know that India's President Draupadi Murmu is in Algeria.
Esteemed leaders and the academic faculty, distinguished alumni of the university, my dear students, Namaskar, good morning and marhaba. I am delighted to be here with all of you today. It is indeed a humbling experience for me to be honored with the honorary doctorate. This is an honor for my country more than for me as an individual. It is an honor you are bestowing on a country, citizen and the culture that has been an ardent and consistent champion of peace and education since time immemorial. I am grateful to scientific and technological hub, Mater Ihadaden Abdel Hafid Sidi Abdallah, for thinking of me and my country for this unique honor. I understand this university assigning example of India-Algeria collaboration was inaugurated by President Taiwan in March 2024. Yesterday, firsthand, I witnessed President Taiwan's foresight and vision for new Algeria, where science and technology will be at the forefront. My delegation and I bring to you greetings and good wishes of the 1.4 billion people of India to the friendly people of Algeria and particularly of the world's largest number of youth, around 375 million, who constitute 78% of our population and who, like young people of Algeria, are keen to build peaceful and prosperous world. It is always a pleasure to address young minds in the universities, brimming with confidence, dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge that directly impacts national development missions. My dear students, now that I am here, let me travel down memory lane and share with you my journey from a tribal, underprivileged and remote village to becoming the head of state of my country. I was born in a modest family in a village, Upperveda, in the tribal heartland of India, Odisha. My childhood was full of challenges and obstacles. I did my elementary education at a local primary school and then moved to Bhubaneswar for higher studies. I did my bachelor's from Ramadevi Women's College in Bhubaneswar and became the first woman from my village to graduate from a university. Before entering politics, I served as a clerk and teacher. passion for education and empowerment has been a driving force throughout my personal life. As a teacher, I try to play my humble role in steering lives of my students, especially women students, try to instill in them the values of knowledge, resilience, and compassion. I dedicated myself to serving my nation thereafter. I am now the first person from a tribal community and also a youngest to occupy the highest office of the Republic of India. Friends, a key pillar of India's rapid economic recovery is technology-led and women-led growth. The massive digital transformation taking place in India, never seen anywhere in the world stage, has encouraged the participation of women in the workforce. There are about 36% of women out of 4.4 million professionals working in our IT sector. The benefits of technology-based financial inclusion has also gone in a large measure to the women in rural areas. I am happy to note that Algeria is keen to promote dialogue with India on digitalization of their retail payment system. We have also made progress in the space exploration and science and technology sector. Our Gaganyaan mission, planned to be launched next year, will a team of Indian astronauts in the space abroad, in India's first human space flight. Friends, education is undoubtedly the most impactful mechanism for human development, social upliftment, and economic development. It brings equality and neutralizes societal inequalities, ensuring that the benefits of growth reach even the most marginalized. Education is a means not only for individual empowerment but for national development as well. In recent years, India has made considerable progress in the field of education. Our literacy rates has gone up significantly. India has one of the world's largest higher education systems with over 58,000 higher education institutions and more than 43 million students enrolled for higher education. Over the past decade alone, we have created nearly 400 new universities, 5,300 new colleges, 75 new institutions of national importance, 14 new All India Institution of Medical Sciences, 7 new Indian Institutes of Technologies, and 7 new Indian Institutes of Management, with half of the new institutions located in rural areas. With the objectives of develop students as enlightened citizens and to lead India into the knowledge economy of tomorrow, Government of India has brought several reforms in its education sector. The goal of our recently introduced new National Education Policy 2020 is to transform the education system at all levels. The policy also opens avenues for collaboration with foreign educational institutions. I want to draw your attention to our flagship program called Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation, popularly known as ITEC program. Under this initiative, so far 31,000 Africans and 155 Algerians have availed of the benefits of this program. It is a matter of pride for us that ITEC alumni have carved a niche for themselves in their respective countries. Many of them have become ministers, senior diplomats, government officials, and leading entrepreneurs. I urge government of Algeria to utilize this unique opportunity being offered by the Indian government. India provides quality education at a fraction of the cost of Western institutions to ever increasing number of students from Africa, including from Algeria. We also offer several scholarships and fellowships to African students. I invite educational institutions, governmental departments, and youth of Algeria to take advantage of various initiatives of Government of India. Friends, India-Algeria relations date back to the days of the Algerian liberation struggle against colonialism, when India advocated the cause of Algerian independence at the United Nations and other international fora. Following Algerian independence and the establishment of the diplomatic relations in July 1962, this policy orientation brought India and Algeria closer, and our friendly relations continue to this day. The current developments are but a good beginning. Our relations are a long way from reaching their potential, which can be achieved by the hard-working young people of our two nations. I am convinced of the power of youth of this country and truly believe in their capabilities to take Algeria on a path of glorious development. These young minds will eventually become the bridgeheads of enhancing our robust people-to-people ties. Once again, my deep gratitude to the university for the respect of warm welcome given to me and my country. I express my heartfelt thanks to President Taiwan and Minister Kamel Badari. I extend my best wishes to the Dean, to all the esteemed faculty members and students for success in their future endeavors. To my young friends, may you be the enlightened citizens of New Algeria and a vibrant bridge building relations between India and Algeria. Today, a new chapter has been added to our historic ties. Thank you. Shukrana.
I would thank
who visited the Sidi Abdallah Science and Technology Pole University. President Murmu expressed happiness, in fact, while addressing, and said that it always feels great to address young minds. She also shared her journey with the young minds and all the people in the gathering, and said that service for the nation is something which is must. She said that education brings equality, and also said that India has one of the largest higher education systems in the world. She highlighted the ITIC, which is making news everywhere. And on speaking about India-Algeria relations, she said that current relations are but a good beginning. And still to come on DD India News Hour. We will discuss in depth as India continues to create waves in the telecom sector.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
geopolitics and trade deals, economic challenges amid development, hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium, we'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of the headlines. Ties plunge further between India and Canada as both the countries expel top diplomats over murder accusations. EAM S. Jaishankar to attend SCO Summit in Islamabad today. Security tightened as leaders start gathering. Netanyahu tells US President Joe Biden that Israel will not hit Iranian nuclear energy sites as West Asia remains on high alert. Well, joining me on the broadcast is Mr. Arvind Bali, telecom expert, to give us, the perspective of how the transformation has taken place in India over a decade, over past decade in telecom sector. Sir, first of all, I welcome you on the broadcast, and the event is being organized for the first time in India. First of all, very quickly, how do you see this, and what does it signify as far as India's telecom sector is concerned? Sir, we can't hear you right now. If you can just unmute your device.
Yeah, so telecom, in India has transformed in the last 10 years. I think a lot of credit, or rather I'll say all credit goes to Prime Minister Modi. I think his vision as far as overall the way, he's driving Digital India, Make in India and all those missions, that is something really great. And even today, all the new initiative, whether it is related to drones or it is related to semiconductors, I think he's personally driving all those things, and that is bringing the biggest change. So as far as this IMC India Mobile Congress is concerned, this itself is a very big step as far as world scenario goes. I remember, in 2007, I came to Telecom, and that since then we have been going to Mobile World Congress, Barcelona, and not only me, hundreds of my industry colleagues, they used to go there, we used to meet there, and there in Barcelona, we used to find very high percentage of Indians and Asians. So I was also a member of COI as an executive member, being CEO of a telecom company. So we decided, why can't we have our own event like that? And then, 8 years back, this event was started. And today I feel very proud. I think the level, the quality of this event has gone to a real international level. And there was a time when we all were going out of India to attend such event. Today, the world is coming to India to attend this event. So from that point of view, I think it is a very proud moment. Similarly, I think this time even ITU event also is happening in India. So that is also a great development. And as far as journey is concerned, I think your question was very right. As far as journey is concerned, I remember in 2008, for 2G, we were lagging behind the world by many years, right? Then in 2009-10, India started talking about 3G. And 3G, we were behind world by almost 8-9 years. And then when 4G came, that was the time when India decided that, we should have our own in-house technology. And Prime Minister Modi, from security reasons and otherwise also, he felt that I think India should have its own manufacturing capability. And from that day itself, I think a lot of focus has been given. And when 5G launch was done, we were probably at par with the world. And not only that, we launched almost at par with the world. We were also using a lot of indigenous equipment. And also for 5G and related technology, India also became a big exporter. and we exported to almost 58 to 60 countries our various equipment. And then there was a vision document 3-4 years back where it was said that as far as 6G is concerned, India should lead the world. And then it was looking very natural to India to be leader in 6G space, mainly because telecom today is majority IT. And we all know that India has a very, very strong position as far as world IT is concerned. So telecom, India leading the world is something very natural. Then comes the electronic part. Electronic manufacturing also, government has come out with beautiful PLI schemes. Lot of companies have availed that. There was a time when we were importing all our handsets from abroad. Today, we are second largest exporter of handsets from India. For Indian use, we have got 97% handsets made in India. Then we also realized that, like as far as semiconductors are concerned, we are dependent on the world. So on semiconductor again, government came out with a scheme where 76,000 crores package was given to the industry, that a lot of focus should be brought to semiconductors, and a lot of international companies have come, and I think India will be leading quite well as far as semiconductor space is also concerned.
Definitely. Mr. Bali, India has seen a remarkable growth in telecom sector, especially in the past decade, like I was just mentioning. What factors, according to you, contributed to the same?
So one is definitely a vision from Prime Minister Modi. I think since 2014 he is driving Digital India, made all technology initiatives. Personally, I think through PMO, which is really very good. Second is telecom itself is transforming from hardware to more software driven. So India has got natural strength as far as software is concerned. Third is that we are also entering into areas we want to be at par with the world. Like when world started talking about drones, India drone policy. Similarly, when the world is on semiconductors, we have all to be a leader in semiconductors so that we are self-dependent as far as semiconductor demand is concerned. So, and then of course there is so much of focus on skilling of manpower. India has got highest number of youngsters, youth population, and that population, by proper skilling through Skill India mission, they are being trained and they are made available to the industry. They are doing a good job as well as.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. And it was wonderful having this conversation with you on this broadcast. Thank you so much. India-Canada ties have been strained for over a year, and now they have plunged even lower over the same issue. India has expelled 6 Canadian diplomats, including acting High Commissioner and Deputy High Commissioner. It has asked them to leave India before October 19. Indian government has also announced the withdrawal of its High Commissioner and other diplomats from Canada, citing concerns over their safety due to Justin Trudeau-led Canadian government's actions amid rising extremism. While Canada has levelled baseless and unsubstantiated allegations, the conduct of its own leaders has been circumspect and under radar many times. The undiluted adulation showered on a Nazi SS veteran by none other than Speaker of the Canadian Parliament and the covering up of deeds of their ancestors in the Nazi setup by former minister in Canada is just the tip of the iceberg.
A Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero.
On 22nd September 2023, Yaroslav Hunka was invited to the House of Commons of Canada and recognized by none other than Speaker Anthony Rota. Hunka received 2 standing ovations from all House members, including Canadian PM Justin Trudeau, other party leaders, and visiting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. And who is Yaroslav Hunka? Hunka is a Ukrainian Canadian and a Nazi SS veteran from the 14th SS Volunteer Division, Galicia. This division conducted police action against Polish and Soviet people in Eastern Europe, killing hundreds of civilians between 1943 and 1945. Hunka was sitting in the gallery when Rota introduced him as a hero. When the controversy snowballed, Rota issued an apology. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who was with Zelensky in the parliament at that time, said that invite was deeply embarrassing, but Trudeau did not call for Rota to resign. The Canadian Prime Minister brushed aside demands of an apology from the Prime Minister's office. Not only this, a US based media house also exposed Chrystia Freeland for hushing up her grandfather's role as a Nazi newspaper editor during World War II. This happened in 2017 when Chrystia Freeland was Canada's foreign minister. Despite knowing his past, Freeland helped whitewash it. It is a known fact that pro-Khalistani lobby has infiltrated Canadian politics. Many politicians have attended pro-Khalistan events and refused to denounce separatist radicals. Canada has proper hate laws in place, but when Khalistani radicals take to the streets, the laws are nothing but silent spectators. The rallies often witness direct threats to Indian diplomats serving in Canada. Canada has been turning a blind eye to all the wrongs that continue to flourish unabated within its boundaries, while raising fingers and accusing other democracies of horrendous and preposterous allegations. Bureau Report, DD India.
And time now for sport updates. Indian team is all set to take on New Zealand in the first test on Wednesday in Bengaluru. The men in blue begin the three-match series as favourites after their thumping win against Bangladesh. Before the match, Kiwis have suffered a big blow as Kane Williamson has been ruled out due to injury. The visitors are yet to win test series in India, while hosts have remained unbeaten since 2012. The report, more details about the upcoming match.
Indian team will host New Zealand in the first of 3 test match series on October 16 in Bengaluru, which could be billed as uneven battle. Led by Tom Latham, New Zealand face an uphill battle against India that has been invincible at home in the recent past. The visitors have never beaten the hosts in the subcontinent in a test series and lost 1-0 on their last tour in 2021. In fact, New Zealand have won only 2 tests and none since 1988 in India. In addition to this, Kiwis have suffered a big blow as their star batter Kane Williamson has been ruled out of the first test due to injury. Recently, New Zealand lost 2-0 in Galle against Sri Lanka. However, New Zealand remain optimistic, batter Rachin Ravindra said. As New Zealanders, we do not try to look at opposition too much. We know what a quality side they are and what they bring to the table. But I think we have to play our game and be consistent and put our best foot forward. And hopefully that results in a win. Who knows? On the other hand, India led by Rohit Sharma remain firm favourites. India trounced Bangladesh 2-0 in their most recent test series and are unbeaten at home in the longest format since 2012. It could be a special match for Virat Kohli, who is just 53 runs away from reaching 9,000 test runs. In 62 test encounters, India have won 22 matches, while New Zealand have secured 13 wins, with the rest of the matches ending in draw. But India's head coach Gautam Gambhir urged caution. New Zealand is a completely different challenge. We know that they are a very, very good team. We know they have got some really high quality players. They have got players who can hurt us. We want to be a team that can make 400 runs in a day and bat for 2 days to draw. In the ensuing series, India will gun for 19th straight home test series win, while New Zealand will hope to script history. Sports Desk, DD India.
15th October, India celebrates the birth anniversary of one of the most beloved and visionary leaders, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, popularly known as the Missile Man of India and People's President. Dr. Kalam's life and work continue to inspire millions across the nation, especially the youth. It was on this day in 1931 that the former president was born in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. Known as the Missile Man of India, Dr. Kalam specialized in aeronautical engineering and made significant contributions as project director to develop India's first indigenous satellite launch vehicle. He was also responsible for the evolution of ISRO's launch vehicle program, particularly the PSLV configuration. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.